Do you know your personal inflation? I was asked many years ago by a very wealthy man if I knew what my personal inflation was. And when he took me through the exercise, which I'd never done before, it moved the economy in my house from being an intellectual one to a heartfelt one, and I understood for the first time the true impact of government policy on my pocket in my household, and why my Christmas tree is just getting smaller every year, and the presents around the tree are just getting less and less and less. So I'm going to share with you right now the exercise that you can do to understand what is happening with your money in your household. You can make more money, but to know where it goes is an essential part of growing your wealth. After all, isn't that what we all want? Here comes the exercise right now.
This is a subject not taught at school. It's not taught at universities. It's not taught by your parents. And our governments definitely do not want us to understand it. Yet it controls your life. This is your personal economy. Meaning, where does your money that you make go? The example I'm going to be sharing with you today is inflation, commonly known as the hidden tax. Governments call it CPI, or Consumer Price Index, and the figure they give is based upon the year-on-year increase for the same month prior year. The example I'm going to be sharing today is through the South African government, but you're welcome to do, and I'd encourage you to do so, this exercise in your own country. So the South African government's target for inflation is a whopping 6% increase, where the actual for 2022 came in at 7.2%. But what is your personal inflation? Those are government's numbers. And, well, do you question the numbers given to you by the government? Why is it important for you to know your personal inflation? So here's an example of the exercise I'd encourage you to do. The process would be to go back 5 years and find out the price of things that you're buying in your household. So start by writing a list of some of your main expenses or things that you shop and buy, and your services that you have every single month. I've taken a list of 18 here just as an example. When I first did this exercise in 2018, I was at a seminar and a very wealthy gentleman asked me, do I know my personal inflation? Now, in that environment, there was over 100 people, and so the basket was a lot bigger. But we'll just work it out on a basic example for you so you can see where your money is actually going. We all feel it. What does it mean? So Google the price of items. Go and making sure that you're comparing eggs for eggs. So example, if it's 30 eggs or 2 kilos of carrots, then each year you're working out based upon the same product. So you're writing the prices. I did this example from 2017 to April 2022, and then expanded as I'll show you shortly. Once you've got the prices of 2017 and 2022, or whichever 5-year period that you want, work out what the average increase is, and then divide that by 5 to give your average every year. So meaning petrol has gone up by 15% every single year on average over the last 5 years between 2017 and April 2022. Add them all up, divide by the total number of items you've got, gives you an average increase. So 19% per year was the increase in the cost of my household produce that I buy every single month. 19% on average. So I took it further and I thought, well, between April 2022 and November 2022, 6 months, I did the same exercise and I came up with 17% increase in the prior 6 months. 17% increase in 6 months. It's actually a conservative number. I've included petrol, which is slightly wrong as the government had a subsidy over this period where they dropped the price. So that should be taken out. But for the example, I think the pain is heavy enough where you look and say 17%. So if it's 17% in the prior 6 months, what is the following 6 months going to look like based upon the same numbers? So I took a further 17% and I expanded it to April 2023 to see what would happen with the prices. I then divided that by 6 years and I came up with 29% on average increase in produce over the prior 6 years. What does that mean for you? Well, your employer gives you a CPI increase each year. Every year, that's typically what your salary increases for. It's to offset inflation. So if your personal inflation is 19%, and yes, I've taken the conservative number here, not the 29, but the 19%, and you've got a salary of 20,000 Rand per month, your buying power has dropped to 16,200. In other words, you are given 20,000 Rand salary in December 2021. You're still given 20,000 salary in 2022. However, you can actually only buy 16,200 Rands worth of stuff as the stuff has gone up in price. So your Rand is worth less. You lost 3,100 Rand, 3,800 Rand in 1 year. But if your boss gives you a CPI increase of 6% at 1,200 Rand, that would mean that you are worse off by 2,600 Rand every single month of the following year. Now that isn't a shocking number that's going to make you look and going, but what do I do about that? What are these numbers in your country? If you do work it out, share it, post it, help other people understand where your money is going. So what can you do about it? Well, here's the key thing. You need to take control. No one's here to rescue you. The government are not going to rescue you. Your parents are not rescuing you. Your children are not rescuing you. Rescue you through education. It's a key and critical element that I realized in 2018 that I need to self-educate myself, as these numbers do not lie and nobody else is going to tell me. So how do you avoid a sad Christmas tree? Well, education. And if you're not sure how, DM me, show me how, and we can connect for a quick chat. As Henry Ford said, it is well that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning.